check it. Stream. Let's see. Okay. You see it?
Yeah, we good.
Okay. Kind of. Cool. All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect. I'm the brother Adna.
All right, Yashama. Hey, got the brother, GMS Dallas, brother, came through, the spirit had it where, we was in the same place at the same time. Mm-hmm. So, what else is there to do, as prophets, but to link up, and push this word and edify the elect, because this is what our life is centered around. This is what our life, is based around, so the brother had something on his spirit that he wanted to get into, so he's going to get the precepts, and Lord will, you brothers and you few sisters that watch, be edified.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I mean, we were just talking before the lesson, just about really studying. Oh, matter of fact, we start with that. Study so that stuff approved. Because that's really what, and I'll use the reference of Paul. I believe it's in Galatians where he mentioned that he actually pretty much fled the scene for a couple of years to just go over the scriptures again, to see all of the things that Yahweh Shai was explaining to him in the spirit, to see those things in the scriptures, because he eventually had to become a teacher, right? He said he was an apostle of the Gentiles. So that requires study in order to teach, right? You gotta go.
This is the book of 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.
Right. Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, because ultimately that's what we're striving for, approval from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshua to enter into the kingdom, right? That protection, that salvation. And so a certain amount of effort has to go into preparing yourself to become, you don't just go to school the first day and become on the level of the teacher, man.
No.
You have to study, and let's just use, here in America, you go to school for 12 years, right? For public school, and you learn apparently all the things that you need to learn in order to be a functional member of society, right? To get your diploma.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't take that long to learn the breakdowns, but use that as an example of how you're required to study before you start to teach.
Yeah, it's a process. Now everyone comes up on the level, differently, because it's the Most High that gives the increase. I think that's in what's that?
In Romans.
In I think
in the Corinthians stuff.
Yeah. I'm skipping in Corinthians 3 about the shot, because it's a process. And see, with anything in life, especially Jake, they want to skip the process of the sacrifice it takes, to become something. There's a sacrifice to become anything, that you want to do. Just like with the business we were talking about, you said it takes months for you to.
To establish yourself. Yeah.
So everything applies, with the scriptures, man. You see, it takes a while. It takes a progress. There's a period of sacrifice. There's a period of dedication. There's a period of having this, this laser concentration on something, before you can start having any type of output. First it's about the input. The input is a phase of input. Then there's a phase of you, being able to do output while you input at the same time.
The input is eating that whole role. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 3, and I'll just get to the point, verse 7. It says, so then neither is he that planteth anything, neither he that watereth, but the Most High that giveth the increase.
So there's no glory that goes to the brothers that's teaching. Our glory comes at the return of Yahweh Shai. You see, so it ain't the glory that goes to the men, that's teaching. And that's what Jake really want, like Jake to try to skip the sacrifice. The reason why Jake want to skip the sacrifice, of the time that it takes to study, to research, to really be built up in the spirit, because Jake want this glory you know, that he sees men getting, you know, on YouTube, you know, the praise, you know, you got the Israelite women all down the comment board. See, Jake want to get to that part, you see, but he's not there, all right, for the purpose of edifying the body, because he's not even edified, you see. So he don't even understand, you know, what his role is as far as the ministry. So it ain't the glory, all right, that comes from men. It's about the Most High that gives the increase, but that increase comes from what? A period where you are sacrificing within these scriptures, man. You see?
Yep. Like the scriptures talk about, give diligence to make your calling and election sure.
Yep.
You know, that constant strenuous effort in order to produce a result. You know, and we see the results, like the scriptures say also, you know, the Lord is, roughly paraphrased, he's dealing with those trees that are bringing forth good fruit, man. Okay, fruit meet for repentance. You see? So when we are producing things and you're seeing the fruits of our labor, okay, that's how you know you're on the right track to doing the Lord's will. But it doesn't just start with fruit. A tree doesn't just exist with fruit on it. It starts off as a seed. You have to get the roots sinking deep into the ground, that foundation being laid.
Has to get water.
Has to get water. That's what's in the same verse.
Yeah, because like you say, the seed is planted. When you first hear this word, that's the seed being planted. And then there's particular men, because there might be particular teachers that you gravitate to, you know, because they edify you, you know. So those men are watering you and nurturing you. Like, those men have to be diligent. Like, you know, you go to them really on a daily basis to get nurtured. You know, then eventually you spring up, you know, and then you become a teacher, then you bear fruit. You see? Those on there, I got the Hebrews.
Okay.
You gonna go get that on?
Yeah. Well, I was reading up on 1 Corinthians 3.
Okay, whatever you got, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Because, well, let's get that in Hebrews, and then we'll go back to 1 Corinthians 3, because it really ties into to that Hebrews 5.
This is Hebrews 5:12. It says, for when for the time ye ought to be teachers, you have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of the Most High, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat.
Because there's individuals that want to, you know, skip to the, you know, the long division and the multiplication and the, you know,
the calculus.
Yeah, the calculus of the scriptures, when you have to learn the basics, man.
Yep.
And the brothers were talking about this at camp. What's today? Sunday.
Yep.
At the Atlanta camp on Saturday, yesterday on Saturday, that the basics is what unifies us. The fundamentals, fundamentals of the scriptures, which is classified as the milk, also known as the milk. You know, the basic understanding of the scriptures is what's required for you know, a man to ingest before he's able to go on and, you know, really find his you know, his lane, if you will. Okay. And so instead of trying to just hop in the game, understanding what the concept, like the scriptures talk about, counting the cost, okay, is imperative before you actually proceed with the endeavor that you're trying to go through. Okay. Because you don't want to end up, you know, wavering and falling away from this thing that you value so much. Okay. So, you know, doing things decently in order, man, is very important. I wanted to get that first verse in 1 Corinthians 3. It says, and I, brethren, could not speak unto you as unto spiritual, but as unto carnal.
Yeah, because Apostle Paul, you know, dealing with the church of Corinth, you know, that was a very carnal church, because they was in the land, you know, Corinth, that was pop. You know, Corinth was like a Las Vegas, you know, Los Angeles, you know, of that time. You know, it was heavily rooted in Greek culture. You know, even when you go back into the times of before Alexander the Great came into power, you know, you go to those Greek city-states, and you go, you know, because it was thousands of Greek city-states, but you had, you know, 7 main Greek city-states, like you had Athens, Syracuse, and Corinth was one of them. So you can imagine how heavy, you know, this place was, as far as, you know, idolatry, you know, all about status and clout, and, you know, all these, you know, just really madness. So the Apostle Paul really had to, you know, go go back to the basics with them,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
and build them up.
Right.
See, you got it, bro.
Yep. Verse 1, it says, verse 2,
Yep.
it says, I have fed you with milk
Yep.
and not with meat, for hitherto you were not able to bear it.
Yep, because Jake, how can you bear meat? You know, here it is. You got Jakes that have tens of thousands of followers. You know, videos get several thousand views, but they don't know what the mark of the beast is, man.
Yeah.
You see, you don't understand, you know, the 12 tribes. You see, you still think the 12 tribes is all black, you know. You see, so how can we go and expound on deeper matters of the scriptures if you don't understand these things, man? You know, because the like Apostle Tahar always says, we really waiting on two main prophecies: World War II and the mark of the beast, man. You know, so if you don't have a thorough understanding on these things, man, why should you be expounding? Like you had a guy, you know, the ITR guy was named Nazareth. You know, he's trying to remix the 12 tribe chart, but he doesn't have a clear understanding of what the mark of the beast is.
He denied what the mark of the beast. That's the worst part about it. It's not like he, you know, like he just can't get it. He went from teaching Israel that the mark of the beast is the RFID chip to switching it up, like you said, remix and changing. He not only remixed, at least a remix is supposed to be a better version of the song.
Yeah.
Right, which our song is complete, right? The Lord's is really the Lord's song, but the song that we sing, you know, which is this gospel, is complete. It doesn't need to be remixed. But you changing the tempo, you switching out instruments,
changing the lyrics.
You know what I'm saying? Making a topic about a whole nother, you know, song about a whole nother topic. Yeah. We sticking strictly to the scriptures, man.
Yeah. So that milk is important, man. You know, but see, Jake think they above milk. You know, Jake want the glory from being able to go deep in the scriptures, man. But that comes with a responsibility, man. You see, just because you see brothers able to, you know, maneuver through the scriptures, you know, and paint the picture with the scripture, extrapolate, you know, spiritual things out the scriptures, all right, that brother didn't ask for that lot. That lot was placed upon him from Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai. You know, matter of fact, I get it. You know, I get in scripture real quick. We can go back into it, you know, because Jake don't look at things as, you know, Jake don't take into consideration the responsibility, you know, of being a teacher, man, of being a leader amongst the people, man. Jake just want their clout and their fame, man. All right. This is Luke 12:48. It says, but he that knew not and did commit things worthy of stripes shall be beaten with few stripes. And that's Jake that's outside of the note. You know, Jake just out here, you know, don't give a damn about nothing, man. Don't even care about being an Israelite. All right. He gonna get beaten, but it's gonna be with few stripes. For unto whomsoever much is given, of him shall be much required. And to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask the more. Yeah, so the men, you know, that have been given, you know, particular revelations and, you know, constantly, you know, growing, you know, at a rapid rate in the ministry, there's much required of that man. All right. His life is consumed. More of his life will have to be consumed in the scriptures just because of the portion, you know, that was given upon him. See, much is required of him, man. It ain't just about doing an hour, you know, live stream, you know, where you have, you know, 2,000 people watching at one time, the comment board, you know, rolling like the Matrix. You see, that ain't, you know, that's what Jay want. God. You see, only the tip, you know, what that thing you add the money to it.
Oh yeah.
You know,
the tip button.
Yeah, the tip button and all that, man. That ain't what that's about, man. It's all for the edification.
Super
man.
chat.
Yeah,
They call it super chat.
All that old shit, man. You see? And then it says, and to whom men have committed much, which means there's a lot of people that look to you, you know, the more it says, of him they will ask the more. Yeah, man. So this thing is about, you know, being a leader is about, you know, being responsible first, man. You see? That's why the title of the lesson, like the brother was getting into, was Unqualified, you know, Teachers, man. Because they don't understand, you know, what they're doing. They don't understand how they destroying people, you know, by the energy and the doctrine and, you know, what they push out, man. You know? But see, there's men that do, and they, they necessarily they're part of the scriptures. But for the elect's sake, we have to, make that distinguish that there are people that's unqualified teachers that are leading a lot of people to destruction, man. You got to go.
Okay. Did you want me to? Well, actually,
what you want me to get out there? You said something in Romans.
No. I was reading 1 Corinthians. Let me finish that actually.
Okay.
1 Corinthians 3:2. I'm gonna read again. It says, "I have fed you with milk and not with meat, for hitherto you were not able to bear it.
Yep.
Neither yet now are you able." So
now, yep.
Yeah. So going into the precept of the brother was reading in Hebrews, where it talk about, really, I'll just paraphrase it. By this time of you knowing about the truth, you should really be a teacher, but you still are, you still at a lower level because you not really toiling in the scriptures like how you should, and going in. Oh, like the church of Berea, right? Acts the 17th chapter.
Yep.
The Bereans, it talked about they were more noble than those in Thessalonica,
yep.
Which you don't see a letter to the Bereans. So I'm not saying that they're there wasn't any letters written to them, but you had the Thessalonians. They had two epistles that were written to them that ended up making it in the scriptures.
The longest epistles.
No, Corinthians. But about Thessalonica,
yeah,
that was the church that Thessalonians, 1st and 2nd Thessalonians, is addressing.
Yep.
And it said the Bereans were more noble than those in Thessalonica. Why? Because they searched the scriptures. You got it?
Come on, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
This is Acts chapter 17, verse 10. It says, "And the brethren immediately sent away Paul and Silas by night unto Berea, whom coming thither went into the synagogue of the Jews.
Mm-hmm.
These were more noble than those in Thessalonica, mm-hmm. and that they received the word with all readiness of mind and searched the scriptures daily."
You see that? See, they got their practice hours in quicker, and they were able to master that particular, well, I mean, you know that there was a church set up there, like I said, but it may not have been as big of a church.
Yep.
But those group of individuals that did hear that message, they were more noble. They were more efficient in the scriptures earlier on, right? Because they searched the scriptures daily. You see that? Is there more on that?
It says whether those things were so.
Yeah. So the things that Paul and Silas?
Yeah, Paul and Silas. Yeah.
Paul and Silas. The things that Paul and Silas were preaching in Berea were received, and they checked it out, just as like how they spoke it, just like how the apostles tell us to do.
Yep.
Check out the scriptures that we reference in scriptures that we never heard before, breakdowns that we never heard before, right? That's a good custom to have, man. If you really want to get to the next, I mean, I remember that's what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I had my eyes glued to the screen, man.
Yeah.
Going to camp as much as I could. And, every brother's situation is different. But, if you can find yourself to watch a movie every week, you know what I mean? Or a TV show every day, you can fit in some time to watch a video, man. Brothers' videos don't always be as long as, as long as movies.
Or get some type of, reading.
Yeah.
Even with the reading habit.
Mm-hmm.
Brothers think when you talk about read, they think
you gotta read the whole chapter.
Yeah, you gotta have the actual Torah, roll that across the floor.
Yeah.
To not, all the transliterations,
Mm-hmm.
all roll across the floor, and you just in the room going crazy. Nah, hey, the Lord has made it real accessible.
Mm-hmm.
He's made it real
super easy, man.
Convenient to learn, because even if you just read one chapter a day out the epistle and just go into a few definitions on the blue letter, which is like a 5 to 10 minute study segment. Mm-hmm. If you constantly adding a little nugget to yourself every day, after a while you're gonna have a hell of a foundation. You're gonna be solid, man.
Yeah. There's a little clip that I seen that Will Smith said. We know he's bugged out, but it reminded me of this terminology you said, just adding a little nugget day by day. You said if you want to build a wall, you don't say I want to build a wall. You say if you say I want to build the greatest wall that ever was, you don't say I'm going to build this great wall. I'm going to start lay the foundation, and I'm gonna lay this brick, this one individual brick, as perfectly as I can, and then lay the next brick as just as good as the previous one. And you create a habit like that, okay? Because it's over a period of time. It's not just immediate, results. So, but if you are consistent with that, you are going to get great results.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get that in. Matter of fact, actually, I can get it. I already had it held. Can you hold the second chapter of Romans 2? I think like we're on the 20th verse.
Okay.
I'm gonna get this in 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 15. It says, 2 Peter 3 and 15.
I'll read it for you, bro, so you can get it.
Okay.
Okay. 2 Peter 3 and 15.
15 and 16.
Okay, come. This 2 Peter 3 and 15, it says, "And account that the long suffering of our Lord is salvation, even as our beloved brother Paul, also according to the wisdom given unto him," the wisdom that was given unto him. So the Apostle Paul didn't choose the portion of wisdom that he had. It was given to him, but the Apostle Paul did harness that wisdom given to him by diligence.
Yep.
Exactly. And it says, "Unto him hath written unto you, as also in all his epistles, speaking in them these things, in which are some things hard to be understood."
Right. So Paul was imparting that wisdom that he had into, the individuals who he was preaching to, and we can see the resemblance of that in those letters that we're reading in the scriptures. And it says, and some of those things can be hard to understand, right? But why would that be hard to understand unless these individuals knew the scriptures, like how Paul knew the scriptures, right? Because Paul wasn't trying to confuse anybody. He said, "Unto the Greeks I became a Greek, unto the barbarians I became a barbarian, unto the Jew I became a Jew." He wanted to get all the Israelite foreigners to get it, okay? But the reason why he spoke and he, had certain concepts that weren't so easy to understand was because the person that was listening or the person that was reading was unlearned, not because Paul didn't know what he was talking about. Go ahead on that, Bible shut.
Come. And it says, I read from the top again, 2 Peter 3:16, "is also in all his epistles, speaking in them of these things, in which are some things hard to be understood, which they that are unlearned and unstable rest, as they do all the other scriptures unto their destruction."
You see that? So individuals who are unlearned and wrestle with the scriptures because they don't understand it, and it's their own destruction, man. And these are the individuals who you see with the most followers on YouTube when it comes to, having the pages, and they're leading our people into destruction, man. The blind leadeth the blind, and both of them are going to fall into the ditch. You see? The last scripture I really had, I don't want to keep it short, was, like I said, that scripture in Romans chapter 2. And let me see. Let's start at verse 17. Just read all the way down to verse 20.
Romans 2 and 17. Okay, this is the book of Romans chapter 2, verse 17. It says, "Behold, thou art called a Jew, and pretext in the law, and makest thy boast of the Most High, and knowest his will, and approve the things that are more excellent, being instructed out of the law."
Right. So this is referring to an individual who knows he's an Israelite, right? Paul is addressing those individuals here. Go ahead.
All right. Verse 19, and it says, "And art confident that thou thyself art a guide of the blind, a light of them which are in darkness." Woo! Right. It said, I gotta read it again.
Yeah.
It says, "And art confident that thou thyself art a guide of the blind, a light of them which are in darkness." Hey, so why Yahushua said, if the blind lead the blind, they both fall into a ditch,
Yeah.
So if you can barely see, you shouldn't be leading masses of people anywhere, man. If you barely can see, man.
Right. Because all those people's blood is going to be on your hands. You're going to be responsible for all of that mess, man. Just like an airplane pilot. If an airplane pilot crashed the plane into the freeway, all them people are going to be put to death, man.
Yeah, he got 20/80 vision.
Yeah.
This nigga pilot. You know, hell no, man. You see? No, you need to have perfect vision, 2020.
Yep.
You know, and then the things that you can't see clearly, you need to have the humility to be able to humble down and get that understanding. There's particular things, you know, like if I'm preparing a lesson and there's something I read over and I don't know it, well, if I don't get the, you know, the confirmation of the understanding of, I won't bring it out.
Okay.
You see, the scripture also tell you in this same chapter, 1 Corinthians 3rd chapter, you know, be careful how you build, man.
Oh yeah.
You know, so you can't just, you know, freestyle, you know, a building. No, man, it has to, like you say, every brick has to be laid a particular, you know, way.
You can try, but when a 30-mile-per-hour wind come by, it's gonna knock the whole thing down, man. You better not have your furniture in it, man, because it's all gonna be destroyed.
Keep reading.
Yeah, keep reading. Bible study. The point is in verse 20.
Yeah, it said verse 20, and instructor of the foolish, a teacher of babe, which has the form of knowledge and the truth and the law.
And that's what we are supposed to be, man. If we are claiming to be teachers, we are the ones who are the instructors of the babes, man. But we ourselves can't be, you know, unlearned to the point where we can't show Israel how we should be conducting ourselves, man. You know, to the point where it's kind of like, dang, that's you know, how am I supposed to learn from somebody who doesn't have this aspect of their life in order? Of course, we in Babylon, we in captivity. Not everything's going to be perfect, okay? But certain situations which are under our control, we have to learn, you know, how to operate before we teach for basically vainglory. It becomes at that point, you know, because you can't even do the basics.
Yep. Hey, because, you know, like black culture, thug culture, street culture, that's a stronghold on our people. Plantation Christianity. You know, why would I want to bring anything from plantation Christianity over to the ministry of Israel, man? The true gospel. All right. Why? You know, because you, like I said, you on camera, you know, and you still, you know, giving off this nigga vibration. Well, you're upholding the stronghold that's already on Jake. Jake already struggling. You know, we all struggle with different things coming out of the world. And if you portraying it on camera, you're actually making the stronghold stronger, man. Because now there is no outlet, because this is supposed to be the alternate way outside of it. Well, if you bring in that way here, there ain't no alternate way. You see, you know, distorting the way that's supposed to be pure. You see, I got one more, bro. This is on 1 Corinthians 14:20. Brethren, be not children in understanding, howbeit in malice be ye children, but in understanding be men.
Yep, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, in malice and wickedness, in the ways of this world and the wisdom of this world, it's okay to be children. It's okay to not know how to perform a sacrifice, a child sacrifice, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's okay to not know how to put together a nuclear bomb or how to load a gun in 2.3 seconds.
Yeah.
You know? But in understanding of the scriptures, we should be well learned. We should be experts, man.
Yep.
Okay, especially before we want to call ourselves teachers.
You
know. So you know, Lord willing, this is an edifying lesson. With that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Wakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.
Shalom.